Even though we've been doing RPO for some time, it is still in its infancy stage and it is evolving every day faster than ever. RPO is a business process specifically around recruiting that is outsourced to an organization that is equipped to deliver a higher level of talent acquisition to an organization. RPO is not a short-term transactional business process. Typically, RPO is more of a strategic, thought-out process that helps an organization meet a business goal over time. There is certain pieces of RPO that is interim or incremental, maybe parts of it, but for the most part, RPO is a longer-term engagement to equip a customer with a team that drives higher business outcomes on the recruitment side. Staffing firms are typically more transactional, meaning it's single search or a group of searches at a time, and it's very much done on a transactional basis under the premise that really the only desired outcome is to fill that job. Most of the time it's very contingent in nature, meaning the agreement is built on if you hire somebody, I will pay you. So it creates a different dynamic. The people that are doing the work, the professional recruiters that are doing the work in staffing are typically paid on a commission versus in RPO where they're paid on a base salary or more like a business professional within a corporate environment. And then, typically in staffing, a staffing firm is the last choice. It's what we use if we can't fill the job on our own. Whereas RPO is an engagement that is built upon an agreement to deliver a certain set of work that ultimately leads to a higher outcome. The difference between the candidate experience in a staffing environment versus an RPO environment could be substantial. In an RPO environment, you're not only dealing with recruiting for the specific position, but as an RPO provider, we're also responsible for a stellar candidate experience, for not only creating and helping our customers create a employment brand, but also to deliver and measure on a candidate experience that helps lend itself to employee engagement, retention, and all those things that are necessary in a stellar talent management environment. I think one of the biggest myths are as soon as you outsource your hiring to somebody, it's going to take care of all the issues. And that's not true at all. We as an RPO provider are experts at what we do, and we will make our clients better naturally by the work that we do and the way that we do it and the product that we deliver. But it's a two-way street. It requires both organizations to work in concert to accomplish this great thing that we call talent acquisition. I think it's a combination of a few things. RPO gets diluted with staffing or hiring or contingent hiring or corporate recruiting quite a bit. But simply, I think there's been so many different iterations on messaging to the market and educational pieces and organizations that have popped up in a very fast-growing industry that it is a bit convoluted, and people, unless you've been through it and you've been close to it, not everybody understands it. There's also a bit of protectionism that comes into play, whereas, right offhand, folks think that, the word outsourcing, there's a couple things that we don't say, and that is bomb on an airplane and outsource in an HR department. And so we need to be very careful about how we educate, about what it means. And it's still, even though we've been doing RPO for some time, it is still in its infancy stage, and it is evolving every day faster than ever. I would consider since about 95 or 96, where originally we had started a company based on outsourcing a specific set of technical skills. And from there, we ended up taking on a lot more than just equipping our clients with hires. So we did some workforce planning, we helped them put together some process stuff, some employment branding. Officially, about the late 2003 was when I got involved with the bigger piece of RPO. I've been a career talent acquisition guy. I started in executive search. I moved into the corporate world. When I was in the corporate world, I was very intrigued with the challenge of hiring a lot of people and doing it very well as a business model, as an outsourced business model. And so from there, it was very natural for me to take what I've been practicing and what I'd learned throughout early in my career and move that into an outsourced model. The ambiguity of what I get to do on a daily basis, the mission, the overall humanitarian mission of finding people jobs and finding companies people. It is naturally just fascinating to me, and it's one of the reasons why I've been in talent acquisition for so long. And hey, listen, there's not many businesses that you can get into at a young age that would give you exposure to so many different business industries, geographies, people, levels of people, cultures, and what have you. And it's always been very challenging, ever moving, very fascinating, and very rewarding for me. Well, first of all, a little history on my mom. She was a personnel manager way back in the day, and she did work for an executive search firm, and she did run an office for Manpower for a while, way back in the in the 80s. And so I would describe to my mom what I do as a lot better than what she did back in the day. She still thinks I'm a headhunter, or she'll call me a flesh peddler every now and then, or a body broker, but in the end, she knows that we outsource on large scale and deliver business outcomes globally to customers all over the world. What sucks about RPO is, wow, we have so much to offer as RPO providers, and we hire very smart people, and we put a lot of dollars, investment dollars, and mind share into what we do to make our customers better. And when that value isn't recognized by a customer, that hurts. And so I would say the biggest problem with RPO is that maybe we don't do a good enough job at preparing our customers to receive the relationship and to maximize or optimize the outcomes of that relationship. We're all people, we all have different personalities, we come from different cultures, and we have to work together. And there's a way to do that right, and there's a way to do that wrong. And so, the thing that sucks is when it's not recognized and your value's not recognized and your team feels it. For me as a leader, it's when my team feels that. I would say, I am a product of my journey from the start, and that includes, not only my young life journey, but my professional journey from the beginning till current. There's been a lot of people that have so-called packed my parachute along the way and been a mentor, sometimes when I needed it and sometimes when I didn't want to hear it. And from the very beginning, I had a guy that took me under his wing. He was a customer. He was a global customer. I traveled to Mexico with him. I traveled to Canada. And he really saw something in me and brought me into his business world and exposed me to a lot of things that I wouldn't have otherwise had exposure to. Currently, there's folks in the RPO world. My ex-business partner, who's one of my best friends, has been phenomenal when it comes to the creativity and the passion that he had, and the business knowledge and the innovation and the drive. And so, I would look at it as a hodgepodge of a few select people that have helped kind of mold me into what I am now, and hopefully I'm passing that along to other folks that I'm surrounded with. What's not to love about somebody that will come to work for me? They made that choice, right? I love that they made the choice and the commitment to trust my leadership enough to take time away from their family and to go do this thing that we call recruitment process outsourcing. But passion is huge. We've got to somewhat like what we do. We can't make everybody happy, so if they are reasonably happy with doing what they do on a daily basis, that's awesome. The highest compliment I can get from a client is that your team rocked it, your team's delivering. And what I love so much about my team is that they're up for the task. They're willing to take phone calls at any given time. They blow me away with the stories that I hear from the field on, just the passion. I get stories of, hey, I was at my client's daughter's wedding last week, and things like that. So, what I love about them is that they have committed to the company, to myself, to our leadership, and we're committed back to them, and it's just amazing to see it work. And so I'm just very grateful and very thankful that I get to be a part of their journey, and I hope that they feel the same. If I wasn't doing RPO, I would be doing something, maybe fly fishing in Colorado or bombing down a hill on my mountain bike or something like that, but I'd always work. I'm a learner, I'm very curious, and when I see an opportunity to make something better or easier, I jump in, and it doesn't matter what that is, whether that's helping somebody dig a trench at their house to divert water or deal with a complex business issue. I like solving problems. So I would most likely be working with clients on a smaller basis to help optimize recruitment, to help optimize talent in one way or the other. I went to work for a company in 2003 that was coined an RPO company. However, my roots to real outsourcing of recruitment go back to about 95. Cut. I didn't answer the question how I led off. I should have led off with.
Oh, it's okay. All right, we're going to get to know you a little more on a personal level. How long have you been in RPO?